The female Titan was caught in a trap set by humans and was instantly pierced by countless steel wires. To keep her identity hidden, she summoned countless Titans to gnaw on her body. Although the female Titan was completely consumed. However, Captain Erwin discovered that the human within the female Titan's body had already vanished. The female Titan transformed into a human and infiltrated the Survey Corps. Just as everyone was starting to relax, she transformed back into female Titan and attacked the humans. Her goal is to kill Eren, who has the same Titan power as her. Eren also wanted to utilize Titan power to protect everyone. However, the three teammates prevented him from doing so. They had to ensure that Eren was not harmed in any way. The three teammates worked together to stab the female Titan in the eye. But she immediately shields her deadly parts. They only have a minute to defeat the female Titan. Once female Titan's eyes return, they will all be killed. The three men take turns attacking her arm, until female Titan's arm loses control. Then, they just needed to cut the muscles of her back neck to completely kill her. Three of them attacked at once, but a terrible outcome occurred. The female Titan's eyes recovered earlier than expected. She instantly bit a man to death. Petra attempted to retreat, but the female Titan crushed him to death with a single footstep. The remaining teammate wanted to take advantage of the situation to kill the female Titan, but her body evolved again, and her weakest vital parts became hardened. Seeing three teammates die in front of him, Eren couldn't control his anger anymore and immediately bit his finger to transform into a Titan. Everyone was drawn to Eren's voice. Eren ran like crazy towards female Titan, but it was clear that the other side was faster. Eren took up a fighting stance. Every punch was filled with hatred. The female Titan attempted to run, but Eren didn't give her a chance. At that time, Levi was on his way. Seeing his deceased teammates, he had no expression on his face. He seemed to be numb. Eren kept attacking the female Titan. He hated himself for not protecting his teammates and letting them die at the hands of the female Titan. He should have utilized his Titan abilities from the start to protect his companions. Now, Eren only wanted to kill the female Titan. He continued to attack her madly, but the female Titan's stamina recovered early, breaking free from Eren's control. At that moment, Eren's hand also regained its strength. A punch sent the female Titan flying. Eren's terrifying aura immediately caused the female Titan to fall into a disadvantage. At that moment, the female Titan suddenly turned her body around. Eren seemed to detect something terrible. The body lost its ability to move. The female Titan severed Eren's head in an instant and proceeded to devour him. The Eren within the Titan's body was consumed as well. At that moment, Mikasa suddenly arrived and saw Eren being eaten. Now, Mikasa's last relative has passed away and she had to kill the female Titan to avenge Eren. Mikasa's fighting power sword, and she pulled out her dual blades, continuously cutting the female Titan's body, even severing her tendons. She believed that Eren was still alive, and even if she had to cut open the female Titan's body, she would rescue Eren. As Mikasa prepared to continue her attack, Levi rushed over just in time. The female Titan appeared to be worn out now and her running speed had significantly slowed. Levi began searching for a way to break down her hardened skin. When the female Titan turned back to attack, Levi charged forward and blinded her with a swift strike. His speed was so fast that she didn't have time to harden her skin to defend herself. At that moment, Mikasa finally found an opportunity. Aimed to hit the weak point of the female Titan and prepare to attack. In a crucial moment, Levi saved her, but he twisted his ankle in the process. Despite the excruciating pain, he sliced open the female Titan's mouth and saw Eren, wrapped in sticky mucus, inside. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Levi rescued him. But as he turned to leave, he saw the female Titan weeping. But what they didn't know was, female Titan had been lurking in their ranks all along. This mission resulted in the deaths of 2/3 of the human soldiers. As they retreated, countless Titans chased after them. To survive, the remaining soldiers had to feed the bodies of their fallen comrades to the Titans. When they returned to the city, they were mocked by the citizens and accused of going on a suicide mission. Because too many people had died, the Survey Corps was called to a hearing in the royal capital, and its fate was in doubt. To avoid a harsh sentence, Armin asked Danny, who was working in the military police, to help him and 2 others escape to the outside of the wall. But they weren't trying to escape. They aimed to capture the female Titan. Finally, they reached the entrance. Eren asked Danny to accompany them. However, she appeared to know their plan and refused to enter the tunnel. At that time, numerous soldiers were ambushing the area. Armin realized that the plan had been compromised and didn't try to hide it. He reveals Annie's identity as female Titan and thanks her for not killing him. The Survey Corps had discovered Annie's secret identity long ago, but she never imagined being caught. When she realized she was exposed, Annie decided to bite her finger and transform into a Titan. Armin immediately fired a flare. A group of soldiers quickly ran out and pinned Annie down. They even tied her mouth tightly. But Annie was prepared and used the spikes on her ring to cut her finger, instantly transforming into the menacing female Titan. At that point, the three of them had no way to escape. Eren tried to transform into a Titan to take them all to safety, but no matter how hard he bit his finger, he was unable to transform into Titan. Eren can't transform into Titan without a clear target, because he was still hesitant to fight Annie. Armin and Mikasa tried to escape through the gaps on either side, but just as they were leaving, the tunnel suddenly collapsed and crushed Eren. Mikasa distracted the female Titan while Armin went to rescue Eren, but the female Titan only had eyes for Eren and wasn't interested in fighting Mikasa. Mikasa took advantage of the distraction and attacked the female Titan's legs. Now, the only one who can stop the female Titan is Eren. The human soldiers were like toys to her, being toyed with and killed. Armin successfully led the female Titan into a trap and tightly bound her with steel wire. The Survey Corps members immediately set up a net to capture her. Suddenly, the female Titan breaks free. Now that her undercover identity was revealed, Annie planned to jump off the high wall and escape. At that moment, Eren remembered the image of her mother's tragic death. His body was instantly filled with energy, climbing up with severe pain. After a brilliant golden glow, Eren transformed back into Titan. Eren's objective now was to capture Annie. But Eren was no match for Annie. Annie's Titan power is getting stronger and stronger as she evolves. Eren has nothing but unwavering determination. But no matter what, he has to catch Annie. Even after his arms and legs were broken, he still clung to the female Titan's leg with his mouth. Annie raised her fist and slammed it down on his head, until Eren let go of his mouth completely. She then ran toward the city wall, but Eren charged at her again. He pinned Annie to the ground like a madman. At this point, Eren had completely lost his mind and crushed Annie's eyeballs with his bare hands. Annie endured the pain and knocked Eren away, ready to climb the 50-meter-high wall. But Eren caught her and Mikasa suddenly appeared, cutting off all of Annie's fingers. Eren took advantage of this and broke her arm, but then he completely lost control and opened his mouth to eat Annie. One bite off the flesh of female Titan. At this moment, Annie was also exposed in front of Eren, but suddenly, Eren stopped attacking. At that moment, a terrible event occurred. The two Titans started merging. In the nick of time, Levi appeared and saved Eren. At that moment, Titan's body was only a huge skeleton. But Annie was enveloped by a mysterious ice crystal. No matter how hard it is to knock, it can't be knocked. In the end, the Survey Corps captured the female Titan and kept Annie under guard. The name of this anime is Attack on Titan, and this video is the Season 1 finale. If you found this story enjoyable, please consider sharing it with others. See you in the next video.